Archangel Michael says, "My dear soul, this message is not arriving to frighten you or pressure you, but to gently bring your awareness back to something important you may have overlooked, because sometimes when life becomes busy and your mind becomes crowded with responsibilities, emotions, and constant noise, you stop hearing the quiet guidance that has been trying to reach you for some time. This is not a last warning, it is a loving reminder, not a demand, but an invitation to pause and reflect, because clarity cannot enter a restless mind, and wisdom cannot be heard in chaos. Slow down for a moment and allow yourself to breathe deeply, because what is unfolding around you is asking for awareness, not anxiety. There have been subtle signs in your life recently, small realizations, quiet thoughts that return again and again, feelings that nudge you gently toward change or reflection, and you may have dismissed them as coincidence or overthinking, but intuition does not repeat itself without reason. When something important needs your attention, it does not always shout, it whispers consistently until you are ready to listen. You may have sensed that a situation requires adjustment, that a conversation needs to happen, that a habit must change, or that your focus has drifted away from what truly matters, and instead of rushing forward distracted, you are now being guided to pause with intention. Archangel Michael says, "Your strength has never been your speed, it has been your resilience, and resilience grows when you are willing to reflect honestly." Perhaps you have been giving too much energy to what drains you and too little to what strengthens you. Perhaps you have been tolerating situations that quietly weaken your peace. Perhaps you have been postponing decisions that require courage. This moment is not about regret. It is about realignment. Realignment begins with awareness. Awareness begins with stillness. There is no urgency in panic, but there is importance in clarity. When you operate from calm understanding, you make wiser choices. Look at your current circumstances gently. Ask yourself what truly deserves your time and what simply consumes it. Ask yourself which relationships nourish your growth and which leave you uncertain. Ask yourself whether your daily actions align with the future you say you want. These questions are not accusations, they are tools for growth. Archangel Michael says, "Do not interpret this message as pressure. Interpret it as support." You are not alone in your journey, and guidance often arrives when you are ready to mature into your next level. Growth sometimes feels uncomfortable because it asks you to step beyond habits that once felt familiar. But comfort does not always equal progress. Progress requires awareness and small consistent shifts. If you have been ignoring your own inner voice, now is the time to honor it. If you have been doubting your intuition, now is the time to trust it calmly. If you have been postponing meaningful self-reflection, now is the time to begin. Nothing dramatic is demanded of you, only sincerity. When you respond to life with sincerity, doors open naturally. When you act from awareness, confusion decreases. Archangel Michael says, "You are stronger than you realize and wiser than you give yourself credit for." This moment is simply an invitation to slow down and recognize what your spirit has already been telling you. The more you listen calmly, the clearer everything becomes. There is no need for fear. There is only a need for attention. Take this moment seriously, but take it peacefully. Reflect, adjust, and move forward with quiet confidence. Guidance does not force you, it supports you. You are being supported. Archangel Michael says, "My dear soul, as you continue listening, understand that this message is not arriving because something is about to collapse, but because something inside you is ready to evolve, and evolution always begins with awareness rather than noise." You may have felt recently that your thoughts have become heavier at times, that certain questions keep returning to your mind, or that a quiet sense of restlessness has been growing within you, and that restlessness is not confusion, it is expansion trying to take place. When you begin outgrowing a mindset, a habit, or even a situation, your spirit feels the shift before your circumstances do, and instead of ignoring that internal movement, you are being encouraged to examine it with honesty and calm reflection. Archangel Michael says, "Look carefully at the areas of your life where you feel tension." Tension often appears where misalignment exists. Perhaps your daily routine does not fully reflect your long-term goals. Perhaps you have been giving energy to distractions that temporarily entertain you but do not strengthen your future. Perhaps you have been postponing responsibilities that would create stability. None of this is meant to create guilt, it is meant to create clarity. When clarity increases, progress becomes smoother. You are not being judged. You are being guided to recognize your own potential more clearly. There is also a quiet reminder here about your emotional energy. Where are you investing it? Are you investing it in growth, discipline, and supportive relationships, or are you investing it in overthinking and unnecessary worry? Energy flows where attention goes. If your attention constantly focuses on uncertainty, uncertainty grows. If your attention focuses on improvement, improvement grows. This is why stillness matters. When you slow down and observe your thoughts without reacting to them immediately, you begin to separate truth from fear. Fear exaggerates. Truth feels steady. Archangel Michael says, "You are not behind in life, even if comparison sometimes whispers that you are." Comparison is one of the loudest distractions from your own path. Everyone's journey unfolds differently, and your timeline is uniquely shaped by your experiences, your lessons, and your growth pace. Instead of measuring your progress against others, measure it against who you were 6 months ago. Are you thinking more maturely? Are you handling challenges more calmly? Are you becoming more disciplined? These are signs of true advancement that no external approval can define. You may also sense that a decision is slowly approaching in your life. It may relate to your career direction, a personal commitment, a financial choice, or a relationship dynamic. Instead of rushing toward it impulsively, use this period to prepare mentally. Strengthen your understanding. Evaluate your priorities. Ask yourself whether your choices align with your values. When you make decisions rooted in clarity, you reduce regret. When you make decisions rooted in pressure, you create instability. Patience is not delay, it is wisdom in motion. Archangel Michael says, discipline will become your greatest ally in this season. Not extreme discipline, but steady, consistent effort. Small improvements repeated daily build strong foundations. Organizing your time more intentionally, limiting distractions, prioritizing meaningful work, and maintaining emotional balance will create momentum. You do not need dramatic change overnight. You need sustainable adjustment. Sustainable adjustment produces lasting transformation. Another important realization unfolding within you is about boundaries. Boundaries are not walls, they are guidelines that protect your peace. If something consistently disrupts your focus or drains your emotional stability, you have permission to adjust it. Growth sometimes requires reducing exposure to negativity or distraction. This does not make you distant, it makes you intentional. Intentional living strengthens confidence. Archangel Michael says, trust your intuition, but verify it with observation. Intuition is powerful, but it becomes most reliable when paired with awareness of real patterns. Observe your environment. Observe how certain actions affect your peace. Observe how certain habits affect your productivity. Awareness of patterns empowers you to choose wisely rather than react emotionally. There is also encouragement here for gratitude. When you pause to acknowledge the progress you have already made, you strengthen motivation. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is missing to what is developing. It stabilizes your mindset. A stable mindset handles opportunity and challenge with equal composure. That composure will be valuable in the next stage of your journey. Archangel Michael says, this is not about urgency, it is about readiness. You are being prepared to step into a version of yourself that is more focused, more disciplined, and more confident. Readiness requires attention. Attention requires stillness. Stillness creates clarity. And clarity guides strong decisions. Take a moment right now and ask yourself one honest question. What is one area of my life that needs realignment? Do not rush the answer. Let it surface naturally. Once it does, commit to one small step toward improvement this week. Growth begins with small, consistent action. Archangel Michael says, you are supported in your growth. You are capable of maturity. You are capable of clarity. You are capable of steady progress. Listen calmly, reflect sincerely, and move forward intentionally. Everything you need to advance is already developing within you. Archangel Michael says, my dear soul, as this message continues to unfold in your awareness, understand that the reason you are being guided to listen carefully is not because something dramatic is about to happen, but because something subtle inside you is ready to mature, and maturity always begins with responsibility for your own direction. You may have noticed that your perspective is slowly changing, that you are no longer satisfied with temporary distractions or surface-level progress, and that you are beginning to crave deeper stability in your thoughts, your actions, and your environment. This craving is not random, it is growth calling you forward. When your inner standards rise, your outer life must adjust to match them, and that adjustment requires attention, reflection, and courage. Archangel Michael says, look at the way you have been handling your daily routine. Are your habits aligned with the person you say you want to become? Sometimes the gap between vision and action creates quiet frustration. You imagine a stronger future, yet your daily behavior may still reflect old patterns. This message is not meant to criticize you, it is meant to empower you. The power to close that gap belongs entirely to you. When you adjust small daily habits, your confidence increases because you begin proving to yourself that you are capable of discipline. Discipline builds trust in yourself, and self-trust strengthens every area of life. There may also be distractions around you that appear harmless but slowly weaken your focus. Endless scrolling, unnecessary comparison, conversations that revolve around negativity, or habits that consume time without adding value can quietly reduce your momentum. Awareness is the first step toward reclaiming control. You do not need to eliminate everything instantly. You need to become conscious of where your energy flows. When you consciously redirect your energy toward growth, improvement begins naturally. Energy invested wisely produces stability. Energy scattered carelessly produces confusion. Archangel Michael says, pay attention to your emotional responses as well. Are you reacting impulsively, or are you responding thoughtfully? The difference between reaction and response is maturity. Reaction is immediate and emotional. Response is intentional and calm. When you train yourself to pause before responding, you create space for wisdom. That space protects relationships, protects opportunities, and protects your peace. Emotional control is not suppression, it is strength under guidance. Another important area unfolding for you is responsibility. Responsibility is not a burden when understood correctly. It is a pathway to independence. When you take ownership of your choices, you stop blaming circumstances and start shaping them. Even if situations are not perfect, your reaction to them can be powerful. If something in your life feels stagnant, ask yourself what small step you can take today to improve it. Improvement does not require perfection, it requires consistency. Archangel Michael says, there may also be a need for courage in your current season. Courage does not always look dramatic. Sometimes courage means having an honest conversation. Sometimes it means saying no respectfully. Sometimes it means committing to a goal even when motivation feels low. Courage builds confidence because each courageous act proves that you are capable of growth beyond comfort. Comfort keeps you safe, but courage moves you forward. You are also being reminded to protect your mental space. What you repeatedly think about becomes stronger. If you focus constantly on doubt, doubt grows. If you focus on solutions, solutions become clearer. Train your mind gently. Replace repetitive negative thoughts with constructive reflection. Ask productive questions. Such as, what can I improve, instead of, why am I behind? Your mindset shapes your experience more than external events do. Archangel Michael says, patience will be essential in this stage. Not everything you are building will show immediate results. Some improvements take time to manifest externally. Trust the process of steady development. Just because progress feels slow does not mean it is absent. The strongest foundations are built gradually. Rushing leads to instability. Steady progress leads to sustainability. There may also be a realization emerging about the importance of boundaries. Boundaries protect your focus and your peace. If certain situations consistently disrupt your progress, adjust your exposure to them. You are allowed to prioritize your growth. Prioritizing growth does not mean neglecting others, it means leading yourself responsibly. Archangel Michael says, this message is ultimately about alignment. Alignment between your values and your actions. Alignment between your goals and your habits. Alignment between your words and your behavior. When alignment strengthens, confusion decreases. When confusion decreases, clarity increases. And clarity allows you to move forward confidently. Take a quiet moment now and imagine your life 6 months from today if you consistently applied small improvements starting now. Imagine stronger discipline. Imagine clearer communication. Imagine greater stability. That future is built by what you choose daily. Do not underestimate the power of today's decisions. Archangel Michael says, you are capable of this next level of growth. You are not being pressured, you are being prepared. Listen calmly. Reflect sincerely. Adjust steadily. Your progress will follow your awareness. Archangel Michael says, my dear soul, as you continue walking through this season of awareness, understand that what is unfolding is not meant to overwhelm you but to strengthen your foundation, because every new level of growth requires a stronger inner structure, and that structure is built through reflection, discipline, and intentional action rather than impulsive decisions. You may have already begun noticing subtle changes in the way you think, the way you evaluate situations, and the way you respond to challenges, and those changes are evidence that your maturity is increasing. Maturity is not loud. It is not dramatic. It is steady, thoughtful, and patient. When you become more thoughtful in your decisions, you protect your future from unnecessary complications. Archangel Michael says, examine the areas of your life where you feel slightly unsettled, not in a fearful way, but in a way that suggests improvement is needed. Sometimes discomfort is not a signal of danger but a signal of growth. When you outgrow certain habits, environments, or patterns, they begin to feel restrictive. That feeling is not meant to discourage you. It is meant to alert you that your standards are rising. Rising standards require rising discipline. If you want greater stability, your daily routine must reflect that intention. If you want clearer results, your focus must sharpen. This is a season of refinement, not reaction. You may also feel an increased awareness of time. You are beginning to recognize how valuable it truly is. Hours once spent casually may now feel significant. This awareness is powerful because time management shapes long-term outcomes. Ask yourself honestly how you use your day. Are you investing in learning, growth, and preparation, or are you allowing distraction to dominate your schedule? Small adjustments in time management create significant changes over months and years. Protect your time, and you protect your potential. Archangel Michael says, emotional discipline is another area strengthening within you. You are learning that not every situation deserves a strong reaction. You are realizing that silence can be powerful and that calm responses prevent unnecessary conflict. Emotional discipline builds respect from others and confidence within yourself. When you control your reactions, you take control of your direction. Impulsive responses may feel satisfying momentarily, but thoughtful responses build long-term stability. Another layer of growth unfolding is responsibility toward your future. Perhaps you are thinking more seriously about financial planning, career direction, or long-term commitments. This seriousness is not pressure, it is preparation. The more you plan intentionally, the less uncertainty controls you. Planning does not remove all challenges, but it reduces avoidable ones. When you act with foresight rather than impulse, you strengthen your position steadily. Archangel Michael says, do not underestimate the importance of consistent self-improvement. You do not need dramatic transformation overnight. You need daily commitment to small progress. Reading a little each day sharpens your perspective. Practicing discipline daily strengthens your habits. Reflecting honestly builds awareness. Awareness creates clarity. Clarity shapes decisions. Decisions shape destiny. Everything connects. There may also be a quiet reminder about the people around you. Surround yourself with individuals who encourage responsibility rather than distraction. Environment influences behavior more than you realize. Conversations filled with negativity drain your motivation. Conversations focused on improvement strengthen it. Choose environments that align with your growth goals. Growth becomes easier when your surroundings support it. Archangel Michael says, patience remains essential. Progress is not always visible immediately. Some developments happen internally before appearing externally. Trust that steady effort produces reliable results. Rushing may create instability, but patience creates sustainability. You are not behind. You are in preparation. Preparation ensures that when opportunities arise, you can handle them confidently. There may also be a need to forgive yourself for past decisions. Growth includes acknowledging mistakes without allowing them to define you. Everyone learns through experience. What matters is whether you adjust moving forward. Self-forgiveness clears mental weight and allows focus to return. Carry lessons, not regret. Archangel Michael says, clarity grows when you reduce noise. Limit unnecessary distractions. Reduce comparison. Minimize negative influences. Protect your mental focus carefully. Mental clarity is one of your strongest assets in this season. With clarity, you make wiser choices. With wise choices, you create stability. Take a moment now and imagine the person you are becoming through consistent discipline. Picture yourself calmer, more focused, more responsible, and more confident. That version of you is not far away. It is built daily through small decisions. Every choice to stay disciplined, to communicate thoughtfully, and to reflect honestly brings you closer. Archangel Michael says, you are supported in this growth. You are not being rushed. You are being refined. Remain calm. Remain focused. Remain patient. The unfolding in your life is leading you toward greater stability and maturity. If this message resonates with you, comment. I choose steady growth and discipline below. Like this video if you are ready to strengthen your focus, and subscribe if you are committed to moving forward with clarity, patience, and quiet confidence.